Let me ask you a question. Would you like to learn how to make more friends and how to make more people like you? Of course you would. So, stay tuned, because in this short video, we're going to study one of the most successful books on personal relationships of all time. I'm talking about How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Part 2, 6 Ways to Make People Like You. Let's get right into it. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. To learn this principle, you don't have to look any further than man's best friend. That's right, dogs. Dogs give you consistent love and approval. They offer you their full attention and unrestrained affection, and they only ask for your love in return. As a result, dogs are loved above all creatures on this planet, and they never have a shortage of friends. Humans, however, tend to focus on themselves. For example, the New York Telephone Company conducted a study of conversations and found that the most commonly used word in the English language is the personal pronoun I. Also, think about this. When you look at a group photo that you're in, do you not instinctively search for your picture first? This is natural, and everyone does it. However, it's also a strong indication of the inward focus of human beings. We are all interested in ourselves. Learn to show appreciation for other people, and they will love you for it. But how do we do this? Well, for one, speak to people every chance you get. A few kind words are all it takes to let people know that you see them and you are interested in them. Next, learn birthdays and remember to send birthday cards and happy birthday messages. This is an easy way to let people know that you care about them. Finally, greet people with animation and enthusiasm. Dogs do this by bouncing and wagging their tails. We can do this by simply smiling. Let's move on to the next way to make people like you. Principle 2. Smile. A smile is the easiest way to make a great first impression. You can spend as much money as you want on accessories and clothing to bolster your appearance. However, your most precious attribute, your smile, is as free and as infinite as the air you breathe. In addition to being free and plentiful, smiling is contagious. Research has shown that we are biologically programmed to mimic those around us. The neurological term for this is called sensory motor simulation. Thus, when you smile, people will smile back at you, and your environment will brighten with positivity. Moreover, this effect is not limited to in-person communication. To the contrary, if you smile while you're talking on the phone, it will make you sound more enthusiastic, and thus the listener will be infected with your happiness. So, what if you're not feeling happy or you don't feel like smiling? Interestingly, research shows that the action of smiling can actually make you feel happy because it causes your brain to release the feel-good neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. Thus, the act of smiling makes you feel happy. In this way, if you force yourself to smile, not only will those around you become happier, but you will become happier too. Let's move on to the next principle. Principle 3. Remember names. A person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in the world. If you remember a person's name and recall it easily, you pay them a very subtle and very effective compliment. However, if you forget it, you will place yourself at a sharp disadvantage. So, how might we more easily remember names? Well, for one, focus. When you meet people, focus on them and concentrate when they tell you their name. Then, repeat the name in your head and try to use it in conversation a few times before your interaction with that person ends. Also, as soon as possible after learning someone's name, jot it down in a notebook or in your phone. Then, review the list of names every now and then, and this will help you remember the names forever. Names carry power and influence. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest and most successful people in American history, learned this lesson from his pet rabbits. When he was just a boy, Carnegie had a mama rabbit, and when that rabbit had babies, Carnegie had lots of baby rabbits and nothing to feed them. So, he told the other children in the neighborhood that if they gathered food for the baby rabbits, he would name the baby rabbits in their honor. This trick worked like magic, and Carnegie never forgot it. In fact, he made millions employing the same psychological principle in his business affairs. People are desperate for their names to live on. Libraries and museums owe their richest collections to wealthy people who could not bear the thought of their names perishing from the pages of history. Let's move on to the next principle. Principle 4. Be a good listener. If you want to be a great conversationalist, all you have to do is be a good listener. Most people are much more interested in themselves and their problems than they are in you and your problems, and they are desperate for an interested listener. So, why not give them what they want? Ask questions other people will enjoy answering. Make a habit of encouraging others to talk about themselves, their accomplishments, and their interests, instead of talking about yourself. If you grant others this kindness by being their captivated listener, which they so desperately desire, they will love you for it. From a customer service perspective, if people are denied the opportunity to vent for long enough, they will eventually become intensely frustrated. However, even the most violent critic or angry customer can be subdued and calmed by the attention of a patient and sympathetic listener. Once this irate fault finder completes a venomous tirade, and once they feel they have been afforded an adequate opportunity to express their objections, they will often become more composed and more reasonable, and they will even become loyal customers. In this way, listening can break down walls and it can mend relationships. On to the next principle. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. The way to a person's heart is to talk about things that person treasures the most. Thus, the key to getting what you want is to talk first in terms of what the other person wants. Let's say you'd like to work for a particular person who is passionate about travel. Well, you might start the conversation by asking the person about his favorite places to visit, where he's enjoyed his favorite meals, and what his most memorable experiences are. Then, once the person is warmed up, you might segue into your intended conversation about acquiring a job. At this point, the person has probably already decided that he likes you, and so he will probably be much more receptive and much more likely to hire you. Let's move on to the final principle. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important. You can easily make someone feel important with a sincere compliment. Upon meeting someone, find something to admire and compliment. It could be related to the person's appearance, or an accessory, or even a car or motorcycle. The key is to discover what the person might be proud of and state your admiration with a smile. It's simple. All you should do is apply the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Make people feel appreciated in a way that you would like to feel appreciated, and they will love you for it. How, when, and where should you do this? In every way, all the time, and everywhere. Each person believes that he or she is superior in some way, and the key to this person's heart is to show them in some subtle way that you recognize their importance, that you sincerely recognize that they are special. Each person has a unique set of experiences and specialized knowledge in some area. Thus, the reality is that we can all learn something from every person we meet, and they are dying to teach us. We simply have to uncover their talent, recognize it, and then encourage them to talk about it. If you do this, people will love you and they will teach you what they know. If you do this, everyone wins, but you win double. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you loved it, if you really loved this video, please smash like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time on Mentally Fit.